So the point is clear. The global geopolitical situation has become quite volatile today because of the US-Iran war. This is Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Rakshi. Israel is openly killing Iran's leaders here, targeting others, launching missiles, and meanwhile this gentleman is seen out on the streets with the protesters. Let's assume this shot was choreographed, made just for the cameras. But the message to Trump is clear. Iran is still alive and waiting for the American forces. Their spirits are still high. On the other hand, no one is coming forward to help America and Israel. The news is that Russia's nuclear submarines have been deployed near the Strait of Hormuz. Chechen compact units have announced their decision to fight against America if there is a ground invasion. China's military is already providing Iran with hardware and satellite guidance. That's why Iran doesn't believe a single word from America, doesn't take any statement seriously, and is responding to every brick with a stone. Now, the IRGC has also released a list of 18 American companies. This list includes big names like Microsoft, Apple, Google, Meta, and Intel. Iran has said that if the US and Israel do not stop attacking Iranian leadership and civilian infrastructure, then Iran will also start targeting the offices of American companies on its list. Iran has realized that it's not necessary to defeat America militarily, you just have to cut off its economic lifeline. America will surrender on its own. There is no debate that Trump entered this war without thinking it through. It was Netanyahu who fooled Trump. By saying that it would be a very easy war, there is no doubt about that either. Trump himself is saying, bro, make a deal, let me go home, let me play golf. But Iran is saying, we don't want to talk so soon. If you don't want to, then be disappointed. So Trump called his friends and said, come on, let's go. Let's all gang up on Iran together. But then comes perhaps the biggest shock for Trump in this war, that he is so alone, that nobody likes him and no one is coming to help him. But will this loneliness, the decline in support in his own country, seeing his popularity turn negative, will this be enough to bring Trump back from Iran? Because Trump has never learned to compromise with time or circumstances. As soon as he took office, he started the whole tariff spectacle. Insulting ICE, shaking hands with China, trying to take over Greenland, disrespecting Canada, Trump kept pulling one stunt after another. Whether it's Europe or North America, the arrogance of the Trump administration has started to isolate America on the world stage.
When we need them to allow us to use their military bases, their answer is no. Then why are we in NATO? You have to ask that question. So I think there's no doubt, unfortunately, after this conflict is concluded, we are going to have to re-examine that relationship. We're going to have to re-examine the value of NATO and that alliance for our country.
Marco Rubio is talking about that NATO, which is decades old, which even the Cold War couldn't break apart. The same NATO that stood shoulder to shoulder with America after the 9/11 attacks and fought alongside it, today has refused to become a puppet for Israel, and that's why America is furious. Will Iran become the reason for NATO's defeat? This question has now moved from theory to practice. Not only have European governments distanced themselves from this war, but they have also stopped even the indirect support that was being given to America and Israel. There are several reasons for doing this. Trump neither asked them, nor informed them, nor discussed with them before starting this war. Now the entire world economy is at risk. In Europe as well, we saw the price hike happen first. So the leaders here are unfriending Trump. At the top of this list is Spain, which has now closed its military stations to America so that the US cannot use these bases to attack Iran. Soon after, Spain also closed its entire airspace to American jets involved in the Iran attacks. Then came France. From the very beginning, France decided to stay away from this war. But recently, it too closed its airspace to those aircraft that were carrying wartime supplies to Israel. Next, it's Italy's turn. Prime Minister Meloni has consistently spoken out against this war and has strongly condemned the attack on schoolgirls in Minab. And now, Italy has also completely distanced itself from this war. Recently, Italy also denied permission for US bombers to refuel at the Sigonella Air Base. The reason given was that the US requested permission when the aircraft were already en route, and there was no time given for parliamentary approval. Apart from this, countries like Switzerland and Poland have also started showing the thumbs down to America. Poland even rejected a request to shift Patriot missiles to the Middle East. So thank you, the US has already lost more than half of its air defense in the Middle East. In such a situation, not getting help from Poland means even greater danger for American forces and assets. From Iranian ballistic missiles, perhaps that's why the US president is now talking about ending this war in 2 or 3 weeks. Because maybe America no longer has the capability to endure this war any longer. It doesn't have ammunition. Its eyes in the sky have been gouged out, meaning the radars have been destroyed. Several fighter jets and drones have been shot down, like the remains we saw at Prince Sultan Base. Even America's large aircraft carriers have retreated. And now even the allies are pulling back their support. So no one is coming forward to help. No one is providing any assistance. In such a situation, how long can America remain involved in this war? How much further can it go? The biggest humiliation is that Israel hasn't even given any concrete commitment that if America launches a ground invasion, then Israeli soldiers will also join this war. America is truly something else. It's Israel's war. You are fighting, but the Israeli army won't support you. But you are blaming NATO. Because you don't have the guts to say anything to Israel. But why have America's old friends abandoned it? Did their conscience suddenly awaken? Earlier, when thousands of children were being massacred in Palestine, their conscience was comfortably asleep. So how are they finding their voice now? Why are they suddenly standing up to America now? Here, Iran definitely deserves some credit. Even though, by every indicator and every measure of warfare, it lagged far behind America, it still did not back down. On the contrary, by turning the Strait of Hormuz into a weapon, it managed to separate America from its own allies. In fact, the EU's direct dependence on Middle Eastern crude is about 8%. But when it comes to LNG, some European countries depend on Middle Eastern LNG supplies for as much as 30 to 40%. Then there's diesel and jet fuel, much of which also comes into their countries via the Hormuz route. If Europe openly sides with Trump, Iran will consider it an adversary, an enemy. At the very least, Europe would lose its neutral status. They have one opportunity to get their ships through Hormuz at cheap rates by maintaining good terms with Iran. Or like India or Indonesia, they could secure a friendly transit arrangement, where you can send your ships through the Strait of Hormuz without having to pay any fees. Because according to Iran, they have made it clear that the Strait of Hormuz is not closed. It's just that the route is blocked for America, Israel, and their allies. For friendly countries, this message is completely open. For free and neutral countries, tankers can pass through easily. You just have to pay an access fee to use this route. The way America's allies have changed their stance in the past month, first they issued joint statements. Now they are openly denying America access. This clearly shows that this change of heart is the result of Iran's blackmail over the Strait of Hormuz. It's the result of a masterstroke. Because of this, European economies are now even ready to abandon Trump. Today, because of Iran's decentralized defense planning and its successful execution, it has managed to stand up to the US for a whole month. And it has exposed America's dominance in the world as nothing more than an empty slogan. Now, Donald Trump basically has two clear options. A lot of people have asked this question. So let me tell you, this is one logical option. As of today, whatever little dignity remains, save it and withdraw from the battlefield. Tell the whole world, brothers, our target has been achieved. You can even hear such statements being made on American TV. Over there, as soon as America withdraws, Iran also declares itself the winner because there is no treaty, no peace agreement. America withdraws, and the control of the Strait of Hormuz remains with Iran. This is the logical solution. Now let's come to the illogical options. But Trump's ego doesn't allow him to back down. Israel shows him some more Epstein files. Some of his friends egg him on even more. Trump gives the green light for boots on the ground. The result? The stock market, the entire global economy, and the battlefield will see a lot of bloodshed with no clear outcome. Listen to this as well. In the past few hours, America has sent even more ground support aircraft towards the Middle East, which makes it seem like Trump is saying one thing but doing something else. And Trump is being Trump. He will choose the illogical option. He won't choose the logical option. If he has to send his country's soldiers to die, he will do it. On the other hand, Iran has already said that their trust in America is zero. There will be no talks. We are taking action. Because whenever we try to negotiate, they stab us in the back. So they are also saying directly, enough is enough, come face to face, let's settle this once and for all. What happens next in the war? What will Trump announce on TV? We will keep tracking that, but what happens next? Maybe even Trump doesn't know, so we won't speculate here. Watch out for more episodes coming soon.